Welcome to the Top Builder Solutions Getting Started Workshop Level 1, Newsletter and Email Marketing. In this session, we're going to take a look specifically at the branded template sections of Top Builder Solutions, which are our newsletter and our email marketing. And this is where we'll create our monthly newsletter and, of course, our drip campaigns. Now, there is one important slide we'll take a look at before we dive into Top Builder Solutions, and it's how training and support works. This is important as you start going through these processes and you have questions that might pop up. This is the easiest way to get those answers. Now please know that option 1 is always available to you. It's right here inside of Top Builder Solutions. If I pop up Top Builder and my dashboard, I'll see the Help Center here in the nav bar. When I click it, I always get a fresh window. And one of the very first things I see is creating and monitoring an email campaign. We have a fantastic guide and video on this, which I would highly recommend watching. It's got some great information. Know that this is always available for you. We're always growing and expanding it, so it's a tool that will always be available and get even better over time. And of course, if you have questions and you'd like to attend a training seminar and see this done right in front of you with these two features, the Level 2 is a great place to do that. We can jump on. It's an open Q&A session, and of course you can see me work through the email marketing and the newsletter right there in front of you, and you can ask the questions you may have as you started using the system. And you can always contact us directly, of course. Support at topbuildersolutions.com, or any of our phone numbers are available for you should you have questions as you begin to use the system. We'll go ahead and we'll dive into Top Builder Solutions, right into the dashboard here. We always see the newsletter and the email marketing right here next to CRM. Let's jump into the newsletter first. Now this is your gateway to a monthly newsletter that puts you in front of the contacts and your customers every month. And it's easy. It's a simple solution just to make sure that you're always there in front of them. And the beautiful thing too is we give you a full set of analytics every time you send one of these. So let's take a look at the different sections of a newsletter and what we need to do as a customer to make sure this newsletter goes out. So the first thing we see here, we have some basic information about where it comes from and where they're replying to. We can change these things. We also have a distribution date set. Now this is something you can change, or you can even email us and tell us to manually send it. We're happy to do either. Now if you just want to set this on auto and go and pick your story every month, or your article, you absolutely can do that. So this is your next distribution date that you'll see in there. And of course, the next topic. And we can change this topic as well. Now the other thing we see on this main screen is a set of analytics. This is every newsletter we've sent out to this point, along with a nice little set of analytics of how many people we sent it to, how many errors, how many bounces, which are usually bad email addresses or spam filters of some sort, and then of course how many people opened and how many clicked it. It gives us a nice little set of analytics, and these are really nice analytics actually. Now this is a demo system, but you can expect really great click and delivery rates, especially if you're sending these out in the mornings. That's when you get your best clicks and deliveries. So we see our analytics here, and I can also go and dive into those analytics. If I'm asking myself, I sent this to 27 people, but I had 21 errors. Why is that? Well, I can click details. And sure enough, it'll tell me why. And I can see right away, I have 21 email addresses missing. So this is an opportunity for me to go out, click on that name, and change that contact, fix that. Now I can also see that I've got some bounces, right? And it even tells us what's going on with those bounces. Maybe I've got a bad email address here and I need to reach out to this person and find out what the correct email address is. But I can also see who my stars are, who read this, who clicked on it. Those are my favorites. So we've got ourselves a nice set of analytics. And keep in mind, anytime you see a set of analytics on the screen, I can always export those results to Excel. If I'm a king with pivot tables, I can probably make some cool reports out of this stuff too. So just know that I can almost always export out of Top Builder Solutions on most of the management screens, including most of these analytics screens. So let's jump right back into the main screen of the newsletter. We've seen the analytics, and of course we can see how successful each one was. The next things we see here is manage subscribers, and this is just who is on the newsletter. Keep in mind, as we enter contacts and as we enter leads, that little add to newsletter checkbox is really what governs who automatically gets put here. And we can opt people in and out, or even take them in or out as we please. But generally, we're going to try and get everybody we've got on our list on this newsletter, and we're going to let them opt out rather than us opting them out. And of course, once we've got all our subscribers, as a customer with a newsletter, there's really not a lot I have to do. That's what makes this such a very easy and important tool, is it really doesn't take a lot of legwork on my end to make sure that I keep in front of all of these people every month with a nice looking newsletter. And the way that I do it is I'm just going to go to the Edit Next edition and I'm going to choose my content, my article. So there's a lot of articles in here. And some of these are very targeted to specific things like green building, or maybe perhaps if you're preparing your home for sale, here's some great tips and things that you could give out to customers. Maybe you're a real estate agent and it's time to sell. So there's a lot of different things in here. And I will tell you, the newer topics are closer to the bottom, so they go from oldest to newest. The newer ones have a lot of really nice pictures. So if we choose a new topic here, you'll see it pops up and tells us we're changing them. And of course, you'll notice that topic down there changes. It has a lot of nice text, pictures already built into it. These are already formatted and ready to go. And of course, there's a lot of them in here. And the beautiful part about these is as well, these are written for us. If you have a customer that you're sending this to, unless they are another Top Builder Solutions customer somewhere else, chances are they haven't seen any of this. It's unique to them. So this is what's cool about using our stories. Now keep in mind, I don't necessarily have to use the Top Builder articles. If I have one I really like that I'd like to use myself or one I wrote, I can easily click Clear Topic Body and type in my own. But this is just a quick way. I can go through and select an article. Maybe if I'm focusing on something specific that month, I choose an article that kind of follows that trend. And then I pop that in there. And once that's in, it's in. Now I'm going to preview my newsletter. And if I go into the preview, you'll see I have my nice header. This is my template. So it puts it into the template so I can actually see what the customer is going to see. And if I scroll through it, I see how nice that looks. Now, it looks beautiful in Top Builder Solutions, but I do want to make sure it looks beautiful everywhere else. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to send myself a test. And just a little pro tip here, send yourself a test to a few different places. If you have a Gmail account, a Yahoo account, and you use Outlook for your business, send it to each one. You know, each one of these browsers and each one of these email readers sometimes format things differently, and this is very true of Outlook. It's not a bad idea to send yourself a test to multiple places to make sure that it looks the same everywhere. Our templates are set up a specific way so that they always look the same. But if an element is changed or something is added or built into it that breaks the tables or kind of shifts things out of whack, then this thing can look kind of crazy on the other end, even though it looks nice here in Top Builder. So we always want to make sure we do send ourselves a test and make sure that anything that we've added as the customer to this doesn't in some appreciable way change the layout or the look of this particular thing. And one of the big things that we can add to this that might do that is the sidebar. So it's good to be cognizant when we add that, and that's right here. It's the last little option. Now, a sidebar is a cool little place to add a final comment, like a community spotlight, or maybe you just want to include a picture of the team because it's Christmas time and everybody's got on deer antlers and big red noses. You could put that picture in there. We would want to make sure that picture was resized, so we'll go check out that resizing and image training in the Help Center, because if it's too big, it's going to make everything look out of whack. And that's why we'll send ourselves a test to make sure, in fact, it does look good. So anything we put here in this section, and I'll show you where it shows up, when we look at that test, it's right down here. It's one of the last things they see. This is a great little way. It's what we call a stinger. It's a good way to leave a last sort of message or a happy holidays or a picture or a thank you, something personal from you to the customer. So that sidebar can be edited each time, or you can just leave it blank. Totally up to you. But once we've tested this and it looks great, and we know that it looks good outside of the system too, well, I have two options. I can just go ahead and make sure it's this last step. I can hit save, and if everything is saved and it looks great, then on this distribution date, we might send you a email that just basically says, hey, is everything approved? Does it look good? And then we'll send it out. Or if you wanted to send it out a few days early and it were ready to go, you could just email us and say, go ahead, send it out. You could send that to support@topbuildersolutions.com, and we would, in fact, shoot that out for you. So keep in mind, we send the newsletter, so you just need to prepare it. So all of the legwork is taken off of you, and all you really have to do is just go and pick an article. And maybe put in that little final stinger, that little final sidebar for them. So a newsletter is easy. And if you're going in and just changing your article each month for us to send it out, and we're doing it almost on autopilot, you're only spending maybe about 5 minutes a month total on your newsletter. And it's keeping in front of a lot of people. It's an effortless piece of marketing. Now, email marketing is a wee bit different. There's a lot more options here. You're going to see some of the same things with it, though. You'll notice when I popped up this screen, I have a list of every email I've sent out, who sent it, what it is, when it went out. More importantly, I have that same set of analytics. How many did I send it to? How many people read it? How many people bounced? How many errors did I have? So I always have a full set of analytics on each email I sent. And I might go looking through my emails, and I might see one that looks very successful. I mean, I had 5 opens and a click here. Look at those analytics. They look nice. Maybe that's a nice piece of email marketing I want to use again. Well, I can, because there's a copy button. If I click that copy, I create a perfect new version of it that I can go and edit and just make a few tweaks and changes without creating a whole brand new email again, and I know that I at least have something successful to work from. Now, of course, I can delete any of them that haven't already been sent, and I can also edit any of them that haven't already been sent. And I know that because they'll be in draft status. So I can always go and click edit on drafts. Now, if I want to go in here and check and see, what are my errors? What are my bounces? Who did I send this to? Just like the details button under newsletter, I have a track button. And that track button gives me the analytics. So if I go and I find one of these that actually had some people read it and bounce back, and I track it, just like the newsletter, I can see that, hey, there's that Casey at True Methods again. I really do need to call her and fix that email address. There's something wrong with it. It's come back on the newsletter and here. So I know that there's something wrong with that. But I can also see, once again, here's all these email addresses I'm missing. That's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for me to go out and manage my data better and make it work harder for me. So email marketing, you can do a lot of things with it. This is where the other set of templates are, right? We create a newsletter template, but we also create 4 additional email templates plus a blank template that is just kind of a sandbox that you can use however you want. Let's actually go into an email communication so you can kind of see the components of it. If we edit an email communication or we create a new one, we always get this main screen. This is the subject of the email. This is some sort of internal description of it that only we see, of course. And then we're also going to set what this is. I mean, am I sending a promotion? Is this inventory? Am I sending an invitation out to do something or an announcement about the company? Give us an idea of what it is we're sending. If I want others to be able to use this, so I said earlier, if that looked like a great piece of email marketing, I could copy it and use it again. Well, the only way I can do that is if I can see it. And this is the way that I make sure everyone has that ability, is I share this email campaign, not just for me, but for other people too. And of course, I can designate who it's from and who they reply to as well. Now the next step is the template. You will not have quite as many templates. We have some specialized ones in here, and keep in mind, TopBuilder Solutions, we give you the 4 primaries in a blank, but we can make specialized templates for you. If you need one that looks a specific way, you just tell us. We'll tell you what it'll take, but we can always get it. We can always get you to custom templates, configured to however you want, including the personal ones that we use, that you may see here in just a second, like we use for Eric. In fact, that's the one we're going to choose. Eric's custom template with the sidebar. It's a real nice letter format. So we're going to choose our template that we're going to use. And you have several different ones. You have a sidebar that looks like your newsletter. You have a very simple single, which is just a header and a footer. We also have I mentioned a blank template, which is just kind of a sandbox, and then a letter and a format. A follow-up. Now, once we get our template selected, we're going to select our contacts. This is a little less straightforward than the newsletter because the newsletter is just everyone. But this might just be going out to specific people. This may not be for everyone. In fact, earlier, if you watched the overview of CRM, I mentioned that we might create an account for Keller Williams because we want to find those 30 people we work with there quickly. Well, here's how I could do that, right? I could go ahead and select my account that I'm looking for specifically, which in this case, let's just say is XYZ Development. Well, I don't have anyone grouped under there, but anyone that is on this list would be a quick way to find them. So I can go through and I can filter. And that's what's nice about this system as opposed to the newsletter, is I have a lot of filtration options. So I can really knock that list down to a specific group of people I'm trying to reach. Now, once I have selected my contacts and added them to the list, I will go and I will edit my content. This is a lot like the newsletter, except none of it's pre-made. We don't give you the content. You plop it in yourself, of course. This is the section for your header, which would usually be kind of a larger text. And then of course, this is the body. So anytime you look at our template and it has the body section in there, this is where that fills in. And we can put anything we want here. We can put links, pictures, text, whatever we want. So we'll pop all that in, and just like the newsletter, we will always test it and we will preview it. So this is, I mentioned, a nice little personal template we made and that we make for other companies as well. So if you'd like something like this, reach out to us. Support at topbuildersolutions.com. But we can make these nice, very cool, targeted templates for you that have all your information, your links to your social media, a nice personal signature. That way this thing looks like it came straight from you. And of course we can even put nice little links like request a demo. So that, if I click it, takes us to a page that sets up a demo in Top Builder Solutions. We can do a lot of cool things with this. I do want to make sure before I send it though, that I send it to myself as a test. I want to make sure that the quality of what I have in here looks the same outside of Top Builder Solutions. Once I have completed that step, and I know it looks great, well, I'm either going to go ahead and send it now, or I am going to schedule it for a specific date and a specific time, and it will leave the system on that date and time, and it will go out to the customer. Up until that point, I can delete it to get it out of the system so it doesn't send. But once it is sent, it is sent. So that is the email and newsletter marketing portion of Top Builder Solutions. Now, as always, if you have questions going through this, or as you start using it, please know that you can always reach us at support@topbuildersolutions.com, or you can reach us on any of our phone numbers. We'll be able to help you out through this important step and make sure that your email marketing looks fantastic and represents your company. I appreciate your time, and thank you for showing up.